Hey everybody, John here. So I got one last story about what makes Oregon super creepy, in my opinion. So we were camping a few weeks ago up there in the Mount Hood National Forest off of Highway or Road 224. And I'm going to post a map right now. So here's the map. So that big horseshoey road is what we had driven. You saw our route. And we were basically halfway down the road, about 25 miles into the forest, when we decided to camp. Now, out there, it's every man for himself. And there's no cell phone service, there's no power, there's no services, nothing. It's basically just a system of logging roads with the intention of helping the paper companies get the trees out of the hills. There's nothing up there, but there are people up there. There are homeless people. So we were camping in the middle of nowhere, and I went down to the road because what I like to do is put the camera down on the ground and get a picture of the great expanse of asphalt in front of me with all the trees around. And I did that. And suddenly I became aware of something. Something didn't feel right. And I turned around, and there is a guy about 800 feet down the road. He had come out of where his camp was. He was just standing there watching me. And so eventually he asked me what I was doing. And I told him I was taking pictures. But then he asked me sort of like, well, what was I going to do? And I said that we were looking for a place to do some shooting, figuring that, you know, maybe he needs to know that he doesn't want to come up that way. But the weird thing is, you know, we had just sort of done the slow cruise in that area looking for a place to camp. So it's not like he was down the road there in some, 48-foot marathon RV or something. There was no sign of anybody anywhere. So he was in one of these blue tarp tents. We saw him later, and in fact he was. But the problem is that the homeless in Oregon have become an unsafe problem, an issue, and something to be at least aware of. I tend to over-exaggerate, but the fact of the matter is there was a mother and her daughter who were in a public park the other day, and they were making noise on the swing set, and so some guy went over and just shot the mom in the head. Where we are camping, the campground that we work at, right across the street, two people who were camping over there were killed, murdered, about 2 weeks ago. And the funny thing is that there's no follow-through really here. There's no, like, all clear. There's no, like, well, they were up there planting marijuana, or they're up there cooking meth or something. So, and I talked to the sheriff about it and tried to get some information, but they don't really tell you anything here. So the joke where I work is that Jason is still up there in the woods, killing people over there, and let's hope that he doesn't come across the street and kill us over here where we work. But where we work, we've had homeless people in there. They come in at night and take the cans, and will steal anything from anybody's campsite that isn't sort of nailed down, or, you know, they're very opportunistic. They'll grab your cooler and run off with it. And sometimes they look like the typical homeless person. They look like, you know, complete scumbag, because those are probably the meth heads, which you need to worry about. They, you know, awful sort of lifestyle. But then there'll also be the people who will fool you, the people who probably look like they're better off dressed than I am at the moment, and they're the ones that you need to worry about, because, you know, they're sort of operating in plain sight. Anyway, so yeah, Oregon's become a creepy place. It was a creepy place when I lived here. It's one of the reasons that I bought a pistol and got a concealed carry permit 30 years ago. But since then, we've had Brooke Wilberger got abducted right across the street from where I worked in Corvallis. And apparently, I just recently discovered that Ted Bundy used to like to do his hunting of people he was going to kill at OSU in Corvallis, where I worked. Not to mention all the weird crap that I've seen and experienced personally up in the hills over time. So, yeah, if you come to Oregon, just be aware of what you're getting involved with. Talk to you later.